Shalom. I'm start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashum, Yahushua, Ba'ashum, Arachakwadash. Devil to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And if you don't think that we're in the end of this thing, then I don't know what to tell you. And, just observing, you know, our people's behavior and demonic energy in these last days, certainly we have to be at the end. This is truly the end. All right, and we know what the scriptures say concerning the signs and tokens of the end. Well, one of those signs is that people are going to be out of control. They're going to be very impulsive. They're not going to have any reasoning skills. They're not going to think logically. Level-headed. They're not going to think before they do. All right, they're just going to be out of control. No self-restraint. All right, overly emotional, very impulsive, violent, and just don't care. And that's one of the things that would happen in these last days, which is why violence is increasing. All right, and we're gonna get to the scriptures, of course. Matter of fact, I'll start with one. This is Matthew 24, and this is Yahushai. This is what he would warn. This is what he warned would happen in these last days. It says Matthew 12. It's like in Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And basically lawlessness, the fact that the law is slack, and this devil does not govern the world by the law. People are not going to really regard honoring their mother and their father. They're not going to regard you know um thou shalt not murder. They're not going to regard not to sleep with your another man's wife, committing adultery. None of these laws are going to be regarded. They're not going to have any zeal for it. All right. So the love of many shall wax cold. All right. They're not going to honor what the word says. So it's going to be prone in their heart to just do whatever they feel. And that's why things are out of pocket. Things are out of control because there's no law to govern the behavior that you see happening. So you got children murdering their parents. You got Jake blowing each other away over the lamest reasons. Not having any solution skills. Not being able to reason and diffuse situations. And people are just growing cold towards each other. There's no love, no compassion, no mercy. And that's why one of the things the Lord said, he has a controversy with the nation. Hosea 4 and 1, it says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. All right. And, in that regard, they don't have any knowledge of their God, because simply, they're under the vibration and control of the wicked, in which the Most High is not at all in the thoughts of the wicked. They govern and rule the world by their own lust, their own desires. And the scriptures talk about the man of sin being revealed. He's the man of lawlessness. He doesn't govern his kingdom by the laws of the Most High, and that's why he's going to be judged. But also our people, all right, because they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. All right, they go to these churches, they know what the Bible says, but they won't do it. Okay, and their love is waxing cold. They do not have a care in the world for their higher power and his instructions. They don't care. They know the scriptures say, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt honor your father and your mother, thou shalt not covet. They know all these things, but Jake don't care. So the Lord has a controversy with what our people, and this is the reason why in these last days, the Lord's going to send the scourge. He's going to send the sword down upon Jake. These niggas gotta go. Even the children, they're just as wicked now. And I'm gonna show that, with a couple of these examples that I have. All right, these are the latest stories, that got reported. Me and the elder, well, not the Zagba, we're sharing these videos, and we just came to that conclusion. Hey, man, we're truly at the end of this thing. Just look at our people, look at their behavior, man, look at their actions. There's no use. These people gotta go, man. They're broken beyond repair to the point of no return. All right. It says, verse 2, by swearing and lying and killing, basically murdering and stealing, quick to rob one another. Jake out there robbing jewelry stores. They just doing the most right now. And committing adultery, a lot of that's happening. They break out and blood toucheth blood. Meaning, just homicide after homicide, murder after murder. All right. So the Lord, in these last days, he's gonna, which he's been doing on a small scale, but he's gonna turn it up. But the Lord's gonna continue to send the scourge down upon our people, and the scourge is for amendment to get Jake to repent. So anyway, let's go to the first story, and it's dealing with a Jake, and I believe this is in Detroit, where basically a Jake got blown away over an elevator dispute because he happened to let some women in on the elevator before the other Jake, and Jake got mad and got into an argument with him and basically blew him away. Niggas couldn't come to no reasoning. They couldn't reason together. Couldn't diffuse nothing. Jake got that temper. They hot headed, quick tempered, and just out of control, man. And it turned straight into a nigga moment. All it takes is a nigga moment for niggas to lose their life. This energy is not going to enter into the kingdom, man. All that's going to be cut off on this side. So let's listen. This is just I guess I'll play the whole video. It's 3 minutes. I got two other stories I want to play as well. Let's listen to this one.
Man who witnessed a deadly encounter at an elevator is speaking out tonight for justice in the murder of his own brother. Good evening and welcome to 7 Action News at 11. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Dave Llewellyn. He's recalling that horrifying night as police search for the gunman.
The suspect is identified as Galen Spencer, a man who allegedly opened fire early Sunday because the elevator door was not held for him.
7 Action News reporter Alex Bozarjian is in Greektown tonight at the scene of the tragedy.
The victim was a 29-year-old father of two. Detroit police say he was shot on the 8th floor of this building after leaving a party with his family.
Wake up, cry every morning for H,
These days, Cameron Harris finds it hard to leave the house. He keeps replaying the moment his brother was shot right in front of him.
Really traumatized me. I ain't never want to, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to just be with my family.
He says his brother, Ariel Harris, better known as Ace, invited him out to Greektown for a party. It was a good time. They were vibing, according to Cameron. He says they went to leave. Ace was holding the elevator for a group of women when a man repeatedly tried to push his way through.
I think we about to fight, So in the midst of him, he turned around. I just seen the guy just turn around. He just turned toward my brother.
Within seconds, Harris says Ace dropped to the ground. He had been shot. Harris and some Detroit police officers drove him to the hospital.
I'm just rubbing my face against my brother's face, just telling him, like, bro, just stay up for your kids, bro. Just stay up, bro. Like, you breathing, just stay up. Like, I really thought my brother was gonna make it.
Detroit police are now looking for the suspected gunman, Galen Spencer. This is surveillance video of him leaving the scene.
You shoot, you take a person's life because he's being a gentleman. So, were you raised by wolves?
Ace's mom, Rosalind Hurst, is angry and hurt. She says her son was a hard worker and a man who lived for his 2 boys.
To wake up and he not there, it's just hard. Me not calling him, I call him every day. It's just, I don't know. I want to see him again, but I can't.
Ace's $1 million smile is already sorely missed. His family wants Spencer behind bars.
You're hiding now, okay? But you was the big man that night, okay? You pull out your gun, you shoot a person, and now you somewhere hiding, cause you're a whole coward.
Hurst says Spencer took her son's life, seemingly without remorse, and now her family is forever scarred.
I never would have thought this would happen to us. I never.
Ace was a well-known barber in Detroit, and his family says they're holding a vigil outside where he worked tomorrow. And of course, they're desperate for answers. So if anyone knows where Spencer is, please call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. In Greektown.
The love of many shall wax cold. You know, dude didn't show he showed no mercy, man. He had no remorse. You know, all because Jake wouldn't leave the elevator door open for him, but let the women in. From his point of view, man, you let these hoes in before me. I got a problem with that. You know, Jake try to reason with him, and Jake what? And in a second, you know, pull the burner out, pull the strap out, and kill your brother in cold blood. You know, Jake is why nobody wants to be around you, man. You know, and this is why these other nations look at you the way they do. This is why Esau, all right, this is why the law enforcement look at you the way they do. Just look how you treat each other, man. That the curse is real. Thy eye shall be evil towards the brother of thy bosom, man. You know, but hey, the Jake that got put down, he ain't innocent either. Y'all know we bring out Job. Was that 4 and 7? Whoever perish being innocent, or where would a righteous cut off? Obviously, he was a sinner, and this was his judgment. You know, so Jake didn't die innocent, but it still shows how cold our people are, man, with each other. Having that evil eye and not showing any love or compassion for one another. We're literally strangers to each other. We're not. It's like we're not really a people. All right, and that hate was inherently taught by a slave master, and it carried on for generations. Continuing on. So yeah, this was unfortunate. And Jake, he was partying. He didn't think that was how it was going to end for him. And that's why we got to fear the Heavenly Father, because you never know when your time is, man. All right, was that in where's that at? Ecclesiastes 9. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, it says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them." And I could talk about, the tragic times, and you falling under hard times and stuff like that, or undergoing crisis, but also even the time when you die. You don't even know how it's going to end for you, man. Jacob be super proud right before the moment they give up the ghost, right before it's their time. Jake up there partying up, liquored up, dancing with the females, pouring up, taking shots, chick grinding all up on you to the music, and then you leaving to try to get home, and you can't even get off the elevator without a dispute, getting murdered, you know? So yeah, man. So you can learn from these situations, man. Scriptures talk about being self-control, having self-control, ruling your spirit, you know, and also how to, deal with people, you know, because Jake, knowing how Jake is, Jake don't know how to take the high road. They don't know how to take the low, and they think being, kind is being weak. But the scriptures say a soft answer turneth away wrath. You don't want to heap more coals upon the fire, man. Okay, don't let me see if I could try to find it, but it talks about an injurious person. If I could see, I know it's in the Apocrypha. Sirach 8. Okay, yeah, Sirach 8 and 11. It says, "Rise not up in anger at the presence of an injurious person, lest he lie in wait to entrap thee in thy words." All right, because he'll, you know, you said what? And niggas don't fight these days anymore. You say the wrong thing, and instead of taking it there with the hands to to solve certain issues, Jake they carrying for a reason. Jake don't like to fight. They rather just just send you to the spiritual realm. That's just how it is now. So you got to definitely be circumspect and use wisdom, man. It's one thing to defend yourself, but at the same time, you're not a coward if you can diffuse situations. All right, especially when you come into this truth and you have this wisdom. You're above nigga moments, man. That spirit is just beneath you. You got wisdom. You have etiquette, and you lead by example. All right. Let me jump down to verse 16. It says, "Strive not with the angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place, for blood is nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee." All right. So there it is, man. Um, Let me get the one in the ninth chapter. And we normally apply this to when we dealing with law enforcement, but you can apply this to just to a man that if he holding, man, don't talk all crazy to him. You don't these days you don't know what niggas is holding. You don't know how quick they are to flip. You just don't know people, so it's best to just keep it moving, man. Unless they're threatening you with harm, and you got to defend yourself. Sirach 9 and 13, it says, "Keep thee far from the man that have the power to kill. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death, and if thou come unto him, make no fault, lest he take away thy life presently." See that? "Remember that thou goest in the midst of snares, and that thou walkest upon the battlements of the city." You know, right there in the deep. All right, it's cold. It gets cold in the deep, right? So yeah, man. Lesson learned, right? So let's go to the next two, and these are kind of like similar because Jake, they don't when especially when it comes to fathers, regarding for fathers, there's literally no love at all. Society taught you to hate your fathers. You're only supposed to just love your mother, and that's why mothers are more honored and more revered and exalted in this world. Which just go back to the Queen of Heaven spirit. You know, the court system in the favor of the mothers, and Jake make anthems about you know respecting their mothers. So Jake, they'll be quick to kill their father. So here's another situation. All right, where um this one here, you had some teens that killed their own father, right? And matter of fact, I'm gonna get this one first because this one, I was like, wow, yeah, this is a straight up monster right here. All right, and you got sons who raise up and kill their mothers too. Basically, there's no regard for you know parents, and the scriptures say in these last days, pursuant to was that Second Timothy? Let's get that real quick because we're living in perilous times, right? Second Timothy 4. Uh, it's like I think it's 3. Yeah, Second Timothy 3, verse 1, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous," all right? You desire and want something that don't belong to you, and that spirit is heavy. Boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents. So you're gonna have a lot of that, man. No regard, no respect for their parents, mother or father. All right? Even to the point of murdering your own parents. All right, which is what we see happening. Unthankful, unholy. Okay, and I'm gonna stop there, because it's the point. Disobedient to parents. So let's listen to this one. This was cold right here.
A 10-year-old has been charged as an adult for allegedly shooting and killing his mother over a video game headset.
Our Gabrielle Mays joins us live. These are disturbing new details just released, Gabby.
Yeah, criminal complaint says family members told police that the boy has had mental health issues since he was at least the age of 4. And by the way, we're not naming him because of his age.
What was originally thought to be an accident is now considered first-degree reckless homicide. When police went inside a home near 87th and Hemlock on November 21st, they found a 44-year-old woman dead. This criminal complaint says the woman was shot in the head and her 10-year-old son did it. Investigators say the boy told them his mother walked in front of him when he tried to shoot the wall to scare her. The complaint goes on to say after shooting his mother, he put the gun in the living room closet, then telling his older sister their mom is dead. The alleged reason why is on page 3 of this complaint and states he admitted that his mother would not allow him to have something from Amazon that he wanted to have. The complaint goes on to state the boy wanted a virtual reality headset, which he bought the day after his mother's death. The complaint says he apologized to his grandma for killing his mom, then asked if his Amazon package arrived. Mayor Cavalier Johnson had this to say about the case.
Anytime there's violence that happens in Milwaukee, whether it's committed by somebody who's 10 years old or much older than that, that gives me pause. I don't want to see anybody hurt or lose their lives in the city. In this particular case, I don't have the details just yet. This is something that is just coming to my attention just this morning.
The criminal complaint shows the boy's sister told detectives he had rage issues all his life and becomes very angry and acts out.
Yeah. And when that goes unchecked, yeah, there's bound to be some issues, man. Ultimately, that kid had demons, all right, and was out of control, and a death angel came on him and took his own mother out, man. And that shows right there we in the end, all right, and it tells you in 2 Ezra 5, which I have pulled up, that women are gonna, they're gonna bring forth monsters, and you got these little monsters, they on the loose, all right, and just given the circumstances and environment in which they live, we living in a world where most of these children, they don't even want to be active, in doing what's normally for a child. They rather be indoors, just playing video games or on some tablet, basically just, they just need technology. They're controlled by this technology, which puts demons on them. And if you take away any of those devices from them, they're emotionally attached to it. So if you don't give them what they want, they will go into a rage. They will go into a tantrum. All right, because these children, they're not they're not disciplined. They don't even know what it's like to go without. You know, I remember when I was a kid and I had my, video game systems. If I got in trouble, if I didn't do, what I was told, you know, the game would get put up, put it right in the closet where I can't reach it. And I would get upset, but I'm not finna, that's not enough for me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna, nah, man. You simply win and you finish your homework or you did your chores, whatever it is you needed to do, and then she would, your parent would, all right, here's your game now. You can play your game now, you know. But nowadays, you do that now, they'll they'll find a way to get you out of there. So that lets you know, it's high level uh uh evil spirits lurking around, man. Okay, it ain't safe anywhere. Even these children are dangerous. This is Second Ezra 5, and starting at the top, and I think this is in the the New Revised Standard um version. Let me see, the New Revised Standard with Apocrypha. And it says, now concerning the signs, lo, the days are coming when those who inhabit the earth shall be sieged with great terror, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. And that's what we're seeing in these last days. Jake has no faith, still questioning the Most High, the Bible, because they really don't believe. All right, it says, unrighteousness shall be increased beyond what you yourself see, and beyond what you heard of formerly. So wickedness is going to be at an all-time high, unrighteousness. All right, like what's going to happen in these last days is going to be way worse than what you currently see and what you even heard about even before your time, even going back to the time of Noah. All right, when you go back to the time of Noah, it describes how man was they were corrupted. All right, their hearts was filled with evil. All right, Genesis 6:11, it says, the earth also was corrupt before the Most High power, and the earth was filled with violence. And the Most High power looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. All right, and it was a lot of idolatry going on. There was a lot of adultery going on, homosexuality going on, and a lot of murder going on. Okay, so the Lord got fed up, and he's like, I'm finna judge this world. I'm gonna flush it out, but I'm gonna spare Noah because he was the only soul that that walked right with the Most High, that had that relationship with the Heavenly Father. So he spared him and his sons so that the earth can be replenished later. But he flushed everybody else out, flooded them out. And it's worse now than it was back then, which is why the Lord got the second death prepared for these people. All right, they're all kept in store, for the day of judgment to be destroyed by fire. So going back to Second Ezra 5, and I'm gonna jump down verse 8. It says, there shall be chaos also in many places. Fire shall often break out. The wild animals shall roam beyond their hunts. And that's another judgment. When the Lord start to send these wild beasts, out into these cities, man, that's another form of judgment, man. The teeth of wild beasts. The scriptures talk about that. Okay. And menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and that's you're seeing that. All right. Raising these little demons, little monsters, filled with rage, because they can't get what they want. All right, super spoiled, entitled, quick to get violent, impulsive, overly emotional, and they learn to be that way from being around their mothers and not around any father figures, man. You know, no self-control. Fathers will implement, discipline in a household. You ain't gonna get that when you don't have it. Like, that'll make you ask, this type of situation happening, that'll make you ask the ultimate question: where's the father at? More than likely, the father ain't there. That's normally how it is, man. She tried to raise a boy, and knew she couldn't have any control, because a woman cannot raise a male child into a man. That can't happen. You simply need fathers for that job. All right. Now, this woman, she's in a better place now. She's in a spiritual realm, but this was the price she had to pay for trying to raise a male child by herself. And a lot of our women, they're horrible at, when it comes to their mates. This is why in the ancient world it was arranged marriages, where the father set up the marriage for his daughter, and he married his daughter to who he, according to understanding. All right, he would marry his daughter off to a man of understanding, a man that he was well off, and he knew the law, had a good report, so on and so forth, and it wasn't up to the daughter. But these young chicks, they groom to get with men, based on their lust, and it's usually they want a grimy ass street nigga, some thug nigga, because that's what excites them. Then they get with the nigga and they have a child, never planned. And then, of course, after the baby shows, the curse activates, and now that evil eye, is there, and they no longer feeling each other. They separate. He go his way, and then the courts usually is going to pin the child with the mom. The father, he may or may not get custody, but he got to pay child support. That makes him hate the mother even more. You already know how it go, man. That's the curse, man. So she's there to raise the child, in which really she ain't raising it. The state is raising the child, and to keep him occupied, she's putting video games and tablets and smartphones and devices in his hand to keep him occupied. So she ain't gotta instruct him. And that's why you see a lot of these youngins, man. They're on some weird shit. Anyway, I'm kind of ranting a little bit, but it just made you think. But this was terrible, man. You kill your mom because she wouldn't get you a virtual reality headset. So their brains is already, took. You could thank this devil for that, man. His enchantments, his witchcrafts, because he's putting demons on these children with all this technology. They get involved in these TikTok challenges. It's all about clout and attention now. Going viral, getting likes and views and clicks. Anyway, let me go to the last story here, and then we'll hit a few more precepts to close out.
Used was a Glock 43, and it was found in a wooded area after the juveniles fled the scene. Police say the suspects told them they conspired to kill him after they were upset with discipline from earlier that day.
Larry Jr. then disciplined the children for an issue that was occurring on Instagram, so he collected all of their computers. A few hours after that, took a door handle, a doorknob, that we actually located at the front door of the crime scene, which is right near the parents' room. He then threw the doorknob to the parents' room in an attempt to lure Larry over to the boys' room so he could be shot.
So Ingram's sister says despite the familial relationship that she has with her brother's alleged killers, she still wants them to be held to the fullest extent of the law. We'll have more on that coming up on Queen City News at 10. For now, I'm live in York County. Shakir speaking.
Man, two of those teens was his own sons, man. So you see that, there's no regard for, parents. Okay. And that's why the scriptures say this too. So I have it, this is Sirach, the 16th chapter. And starting at the top, it says, desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. Though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them. Trust not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude. Because you got a lot of Jake in the hood, because the worst type of niggas that a lot of Eve is attracted to, those niggas, they're running through the women in the hood, and they leaving all kind of babies behind. And they raise these little monsters up, and these monsters, they turn into a version of their fathers, and they get into that street life or whatever they do. And hey, you're gonna lose some of them. They're gonna die to street violence. Some are gonna get locked up. But Jake think it's all good having all these children, knocking up all these different women, having all these baby mamas. But you bringing monsters into the world. All right. It says, for one that is just is better than 1,000, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. And that's what, these two parents that got deceased is what they both had in common. They had ungodly children. So, yeah, man, we're not going to really enjoy having children on this side until we're in the kingdom. Because, as of now, when you're a child born here, you're given to evil. Sirach 17 and 16, it says, every man from his youth is given to evil. Neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stony. So when you come into this world, you're going to automatically, especially being born into Babylon, all right, where there's, darkness is as light, there's no order. It's just the land of darkness, man, shadow of death. So you're going to learn, evil very quickly. You got to play tug of war with your children, against, evil spirits and seducing spirits, the devil, trying to program and indoctrinate your children. So you ain't gonna enjoy having children on this side, man. All right, that's why in the kingdom it's gonna be, lovely, because the law, statutes, commandments are gonna be written into us. All right, our children are gonna be righteous. We're gonna be righteous. All Israel is gonna be righteous, man, in that day. But right now, Jake is given to evil. All right, and that's why the Lord's gonna, he's gonna cut 2/3 of them off. All right, and hit that hard reset on Jake. All right, because that evil root is in Jake. All right, 2nd Ezra 4. In verse 28, it says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Meaning the day of doom, the day of the Lord. All right. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good, for the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning? And how much ungodliness have it brought up unto this time? And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? So that's why wickedness is going to be increased. The love of many is going to wax cold because iniquity is going to continue to abound. That's why we need that change. It says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed have brought forth. And that's why the Lord's going to come back to he's going to turn it the wickedness that's sown, he's going to turn it upside down, in which ultimately he's already begun that process by returning a remnant to him. All right, and opening up our spirit and then giving us this wisdom and cleansing our ways. All right, and we feel sorry for the beings that we were before we came into the truth. That old man, that old woman. We immediately cut that person off. Now we new creatures in Yahweh Shai, so it's already beginning on to a certain extent, but the fullness of it is going to be when the Lord destroys this place, all right, and usher in the kingdom, and when He also changes us, where our corruption is going to put on incorruption. We're going to go from being mortals to immortal. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra 7. That's when this is all going to change, man. 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 43, and it says, I'll start at 41. It says, even so now, seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore should it not be so now also? He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom, the day of threshing, shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end. And what is intemperance? Lack of control, lack of self-control, man. All right, being discipline. It says lack of moderation or restraint, and that's what you see happening in these last days, on earth. When you go back to 2nd Ezra 5, where I was reading at, when you read verse 10. Actually, let me read 9 and then I'm gonna read 10. It says, salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall conquer one another. Then shall reason hide itself. You saw with the first incident with the elevator situation, Jake just do not have any reasoning skills, man. They don't know how to reason. Just over the top with their emotions, and they don't think nothing through, and it causes them to act, without thought of there being any consequence. And wisdom shall withdraw into its chamber, and it shall be sought by many, but shall not be found. This is why this wisdom is only with the elect. All right. And unrighteousness and unrestraint shall increase on earth. All right. Jake they don't know how to show any restraint. They don't know how to be like, you know what, let me calm down, let me think this through, let me figure this out. Let me not be irrational. No, Jake will blow you away over not putting the right condiments in his bag. You forgot my sauce, so I gotta kill you now. Or you put too much mayo on my sandwich, or whatever the case may be. You looked at me wrong. So intemperance, is gonna be at an end. All right, that spirit is gonna be, removed. Okay, lack of moderation, restraint. It says infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. It's like it, then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory. Okay. So, that's what we're waiting on, man. And, the elect ultimately already got the victory. It's just waiting to be played out in the spirit. Okay. But this is it's a war, man. This is that battle where we were made to fight. Okay. It's a lot of temptation, a lot of evil spirits, man. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Our people in the world, they don't have that covering, so they're attacked and they're open to all these evil spirits. This is why you're seeing what's happening, man. And they don't have the wisdom. So they're gonna be destroyed because they have no knowledge. So, I guess that I'll stop the lesson there. All right, and I just want to these clips inspire me to do this video. So, Lord willing, y'all were edifying, and hey, be circumspect. All right, and hey, use wisdom, man. Okay, instead of getting into it with people, man, just hey, what the scriptures say. Diffuse it and just move on with your day. And then later on, if you're feeling some kind of way, hey, send them up to the Most High, man. Send up the curses if you feel like you were wronged in that regard. All right. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. To the next lesson, Shalom.